Bring you some analysis now with Wole Ojewale. He's a regional organized crime observatory coordinator for Central Africa at the Institute for Security Studies and is joining us from Dakar in Senegal. Thank you for your time, sir. What are the types of incidents that are being seen in the al-Fashir area at the moment, especially over the last few weeks where fighting seems to have intensified there?
Well, I think they are generally the area bombardments, shelling, and attacks that are actually affecting civilians. Much more concerning is the recent dimension to the attack, which is leading to displacement of people. And much more importantly, the fact that it appears there are no rules in the war that is going on in Sudan, as humanitarian facilities like hospitals are now being attacked, particularly in al-Fashir, which is about the only hospital that can carry out sophisticated operation on casualty. So these are the really concerning forms of attacks that are taking place now.
And it's certainly not the first time that we've seen this kind of violence in the Darfur region. The ICC back in 2005 issued this arrest warrant for Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir on charges including genocide, and they relate to crimes in Darfur. How is it that this type of atrocity, these types of crimes, have been allowed to take place again in such a sensitive region?
Well, I think the number one thing is the fact that the Sudan crisis has been relegated to the backwater, particularly when you look at the conflict profile of the world now, the Israel war with Hamas and the Russia invasion of Ukraine. These are the conflicts that people are actually talking about, and that it appears the international communities are really mobilizing resources and share conversation that is taking place as far as global conflict is concerned are focused in those areas. And to the extent to which these actors in conflict in Sudan can see that the world is not really paying sufficient attention, I think they have gotten the liberty to continue with their atrocities, particularly against civilians.
Why is al-Fashir in Darfur so important to both the Rapid Support Forces group as well as the Sudanese army?
As things stand presently, al-Fashir is about the only city that has not fallen into the hand of the RSF. So the implication of that is that the Sudan army is fighting vigorously to retain that city, since they've lost base in Khartoum and elsewhere. And then RSF also believe if they can capture the city, perhaps they can gain the upper hand in the war. And it appears that this is the last frontier that both parties are contending for.
This war so far has, of course, had many civilian casualties. There's also been mass displacement, not just internally, but also within the region. Talk us through how the civil war, the ongoing civil war, is impacting this East African region.
I think the most important factor is the neighborhood effect of the war that is going on. Because Sudan is sitting at the crossroad of countries that are also going through multiple conflicts, like down you see the Central African Republic, Chad, which is also unstable, and then Ethiopia to the east. So the neighborhood effect of the war that is going on in terms of arms trafficking, porosity of borders, the ease with which this can also create another form of conflict in the region is something that is really concerning now. But much more important is the economic disequilibrium, gross displacement of the people that is affecting food security, that is affecting farming operation and any form of livelihood. And much more importantly, the fact that it appears that the entire infrastructure for social and economic development has fully collapsed in the cities. I think even if the war comes to the end today, the neighboring countries will begin to feel the impact in the years to come. And this is the reason why I think the world should pay attention and quickly intervene as much as possible.
Wole Ojewale in Dakar, Senegal. Really good to get your analysis. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.